I welcome everybody who is logged in from different parts of the world for today's interaction, which I will have with Dr. Mickey Mehta. The subject is going to be very, very macro in nature. As you know, it's immunity in humanity. We are not talking about immunity in a person or immunity in a family or immunity in a community. We are talking immunity in humanity. Such a relevant subject all over the world today in given circumstances, and its relevance is not going to go over in next few days or next few weeks or months, because if we see the history in last 50 years, we have seen the virus attacks starting from HIV, we have seen Ebola, we have seen MERS, we have seen avian, we have seen H1N1, and we see many more, Zika, and then came Corona, the COVID-19. And it's not the last one, the more will come, which means the immunity to fight such virus attacks which are coming on humanity. The immunity has not to be for short term, immunity has not to be for a person or a family. It's a big subject. And to do justice to this big subject, I could not think a person better than Dr. Mickey Mehta, who can take the subject in a very holistic manner. And for your information, I don't have to introduce Dr. Mickey Mehta, but still I will try to, because he is a personality of so much achieved in life, and he's still going very strong. And I'll share with you some of the achievements as of now. He's the recipient of Health and Wellness Icon of India, awarded by Economic Times. And also in 2018, in the Global Wellness Conclave, he was rated one among the top 100 most impactful wellness leaders of the world. I'm saying it's a global top 100, which he was, and it's very difficult for somebody to get into that league, which Dr. Mickey Mehta went into. He was the first personal trainer. This concept of personal trainer came in when he started it. He was the first fitness columnist, and also on the radio and the TVs and the channels. And as the technology progressed, he kept on staying in touch with humanity to spread health and wellness through the newer and newer ways of communications. Like today, we are doing webinar, or we are on Zoom. He's on the Zoom. So he has maintained the continuity with the humanity through the technological upgradation as well. He also is an author. You would be surprised, after having achieved so much, he gets time to write books. He has written the Shoonyam Quotient. You have heard IQ, you heard EQ, and this is Shoonyam Quotient. I would love to read that book too. It's a so interesting subject. He has written on losing weight and gaining shape, a book on how to lose weight and gain shape. And these are the two which are already published, and 5 more are in pipeline. You can imagine he gets time to write, and so subjects are so sharp related to wellness. He is also the only Indian who has been given a doctorate degree twice in holistic health and life sciences for integrated medicines. A unique academic achievement. He also, we dream to go to IITs and IIMs, but he has been invited by IITs and IIMs, and including Harvard University in US, Boston, for giving a talk to the students there. And another distinction he has is not only he has trained the police, he also has trained Army, Navy, and the Air Force. You can imagine the kind of contribution he has done to variety of fields in the Indian society. We look forward to having a glimpse of Miss India or Miss World or Miss Universe and Bollywood artists, but he has coached them. He has coached Miss India, coached Miss World, Miss Universe has been coached by him, and he also, on a very regular basis, coaches film personalities, politicians, and bureaucrats, senior bureaucrats, and billionaires in the business field. recently he has been also joined the Fit India movement, which is a Government of India initiative. And so if you are to sum it up, he's an author, he's a poet. He's a poet also. He does poetry. He's a philosopher. He's a brand. He's an institution by himself, and a very legendary person. And I always, whenever talk to him, whenever I meet him, whenever I see him, I get energized, because one of his one-liner sentence, he says that you get energized, neutralized, optimized, maximized, and wellness revolutionized, and gets to Mickey-mized. And he always talks so rhymingly whenever he communicates, whenever he talks. So he's a great personality. So all the viewers, today we have a very macro subject and equally matching personality to do justice to that subject. Dr. Mickey Mehta, before we get into the interactive mode, I would like a few sentences you can say, and then I'll get into our interaction.
So, also Satish, when I met you for the first time, or rather, it was an exchange of light, and the light was coming from the higher to lower. So, which means from Satish to Mickey. So when your creative went out and people started appreciating it, I just simply said, Satish will go back lighter, which means a few kilos lesser, and Mickey will go back brighter, which means he will take oodles of wisdom from Satish. Satish has also constantly repurposed and re-educated himself in the best of Ivy League universities, and written, of course, very well traveled, researched. So it's my honor, Satish, to get hosted by you.
Well, it's a subject which I would do justice on a scale of 10-2, and you will do justice on a scale of 10-9. So it's your subject, your day, and I will try to see that I do, I'm a chemical engineer. In chemical engineering, we are taught solvent extraction. And solvent extraction is how you extract something from the mind of a person, in this case, mind of a person. So I try to extract as much information, knowledge relevant to the subject for the benefit of audience, so that they can benefit it, because this immunity is such a important, and has become even more important recently after COVID. And I would like that the audience gets benefited because of your interaction with me. And the first thing I would like to ask you, Dr. Mehta, is that there is a very regular feeling amongst the people that we take birth, then we grow, then we age, then at some age, when we turn old, we get some disease, and then we die. And it's a cycle everybody has to go through, and they don't like it. The humanity doesn't like it, but they accept it because they see this happening over thousands of years. And is there a way, Dr. Mehta, to make this life disease-free, aging-free, so that people can enjoy life in a healthy way, and without any disease and without any weaknesses which comes with aging process?
Okay, so let me tell you, Satish, that we are very fortunate that we are born on the land of the seers, the Rishi Munis, the Mahaviras, the Buddhas, okay, the people from Ramayana, people from Bhagavad, Mahabharata. So we are the descendants of such high levels, elevated souls. So yoga and Ayurveda has been around for more than 10,000 years. Now, modern science always says that they are preventive. I say no. Yoga is productive, Ayurveda is creative. Nothing about prevention. They are creative and productive sciences. And let me tell you that Louis Pasteur, you know Louis Pasteur?
Yeah, he's the inventor of penicillin.
Correct. So on his deathbed, he had a regret. And that regret is well recorded. His regret was that I wasted my life going after the microbes and germs. I should have looked into human terrain. because that is where the gutter is. So now coming to your question, the gutter causes the disorder, disease, decay, death. And if this gutter were to become a garden, and health would be healing, harmonized and all rosy, if health would be fruity and sweet, then of course, like any other subtle energy, health would perpetuate forever and humans could be immortalized. Now, this is not a far-fetched. Our own ancestors thousands of years back have lived lives up to 300, 400, 500 years, a very clean, regulated, fortified life. I would say clean, purified, regulated and a fortified life where there would be nothing to kill the human being. Because a human being would be in absolute upregulated homeostasis, upregulated, upscaled, upgraded. So there was no chance of disease, decay, disorder and death. So death only comes to disease. And so death has no right on life. Death is the culmination of disease and disease is the culmination of your choices. And the choices you've made in the state of conditioned social conditioning of your previous past, which comes as a reaction to you and not consciously. This is what creates the biggest of problem. Also, our Sanatan Dharma, our Hindu Sanatan Dharma, I'm not saying Hindu religion, I'm saying Indian Hindu way of life, the way the community used to live. The dharma was completely Swikriti, Vairagya, Ritambara Pragya, Yatha Pinde Tatha Brahmande, Aham Brahmasmi, Tattvamasi. Now all these mean nothing but purity, wholesomeness, holistic understanding, compassion, empathy, sympathy, everything put together, and wholeness. So Mark Twain said there are two most important days in your life. The day you are born is one, and number two, when you realize why. So in our earlier enlightened self from Rishi Munis, we understood that the purpose of life is evolution. And if life has to evolve, it has to be disease free. It has to be ailment free. So Santhara used to be a very popular perspective or a way of life amongst the Mahaviras, Jainism. And Santhara meant that once the purpose of life is completely done, your mission is over, you're almost an octogenarian, your body is becoming feeble, there's no point living for 20, 30, 40 years when you've stopped contributing to the society. So they would, although if they would continue living healthily, they would live forever. So they thought the best is brought family on board, took their consent, and they did samarpan. They took the samarthan and they would do the samarpan to the cosmos, and the samarpan would be nothing but first stop eating. Now stop eating is overcoming the lust for food and sex, because food drives the libido as well. And when the lust of food is completely annihilated, then comes attachment to life. So they give up water. Because thirst, quenching the thirst is man's biggest need. So then they master and overcome how to overcome the thirst. So after food, there would be water. And after water, they would then detach the emotional cords. Sever the emotional cords from all relatives, and of course with the consent of the relatives and the children. And when the emotional cords would be severed, it would be very easy for them to letting go their breath. And when the person is very conscious, letting go in the breath, the person is in a position to be in the state of transition to choose to live again and serve again, to become a flower and fragrant again, or to become fruit and sweet again, or to disappear into the thin air and be liberated forever. So that is Ichha Mrityu, that is Ichha Jivan, that is Santhara for you, or else with complete health and harmony, one would keep purifying oneself to the point that one wouldn't need food, one wouldn't need water, one could only breathe and exist.
Is that possible?
Breatharians. So there is a culture of breatharians. There's a lot of research going on that how did Rishi Munis only live on thin air? So breatharians, okay? And you can just renew your life after refining your body at the levels, regulating the body of the levels unimaginable to bring eternity and perpetuity to energy and eternity and perpetuity to form. So there's one philosophy in science called autopoiesis. The science, and that's a philosophy and a science. Previously, the Greek terminologies were wonderful. There was Aristotle came out with something like teleology, which means the individual desire to perpetuate makes the species perpetuate and grow in evolution to the desired outcome of the species, which means that before the life started on terrain, it was in water, and if fish, when completely swept ashore, would struggle to live and would imagine how I wish I could fly. So probably birds came to life, because after millions of transformations,
The birds came.
teleology would bring an expression to life of a desire to fulfill a biological need and expression. So autopoiesis is simply a very well-regulated system which sustains life, perpetuates lives, and makes the cell perpetuate almost to eternity if you want. And similarly, there is a science of polymorphism. Now polymorphism people have started applying in IT. But polymorphism is also you and me are multiple personalities. So you are a father, you are a son, you are a brother, an employer, an employee, a student, a teacher, a reader, a book, and you are a bhakt and you are a guru at the same time. And so you are at least 10, 12 personalities. Now before that you are a gender, then you are named Satish, then you are Khanna, then you have your father's identity. So we have 20 identities we keep switching from. And each switch has a toll. Because there is ego attached to each personality. And this ego, when dissolved in meditation, immunity could be to eternity. So polymorphism has to be let go on. Yoga is about let go, let go, let go your gender, let go your name, let go your title, let go of your relationships, let go of all the egos. And when you've let go on everything, you are liberated, nirvana and moksha. And you can constantly perpetuate life.
Excellent. You're so deep in explaining the philosophy of life. No, I like the one part which you said right in the beginning, that death comes to disease and disease comes due to choices you make. So we have in hand the right choices to make to be disease free. And if you are disease free, either death gets delayed or death is pleasant. It's something.
Or you can choose to pass away, transform, transmigrate, but not die to disease.
Or not die to disease. Okay.
Because energy is eternal. Urja is eternal. उसमें परिवर्तन आ सकता है.
Absolutely. Yeah. And these choices we make are in the lifestyle, the things we do, the way we live, everything related to our software, our mind, state of mind, our actions, our food habits, our how we deal with the world. These are the areas where we can make choices.
Correct. So let me interject. Forgive me.
Yeah, please.
Why does a human die? And why does disease occur? So there are two reasons. One is that the forces of entropy. Entropy is universal tendency of orderliness breaking into disorderliness. So time, matter, space, light, motion, mass, causation, effect. They cause dis-ease, disorder, decay and death. because that happens to matter. Every matter is subjected to that. Also, our Sanatan Dharma teaches us that Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Maya, Matsara, pride, anger, lust, envy, gluttony, avarice, sloth are the disturbances of ego caused in the personality, where the disease first takes birth in the personality and it manifests in the physicality.
In the body. Okay, physicality.
So in yoga and Ayurveda, we deal with entropy, we deal with Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, and so we can become creative and productive. You know something? That a virus, what is the evolution of a virus compared to the evolution of mankind? Mankind has evolved over 14 billion years from the time, see, there are two theories. Okay? So either there is a theory of panspermia. Panspermia is a theory where astronomers say that when asteroids and meteorites came flying down to the earth, they brought with them living objects, microbes. And microbes lesser than 6 microns. Okay, so that is one theory. The second theory is that when the first speck of life was identified on the rims of the volcano, it was called chemolitho-autotrophic hyperthermophile. Scientists call it for
A very short name.
a very short name. So from chemolitho-autotrophic hyperthermophile, we have evolved to becoming conscious human beings who can think, who can write, who can assess, evaluate, play a piano, sing a song, speak a poetry, read a book, digest food, run a race, cry, laugh, sing, play music, everything at the same time simultaneously. So this is our evolution of anthropology. Now, this human dying to COVID is a disgrace because COVID's lifespan is only 15 days.
Yeah.
So, we are born of a mighty power for a mighty purpose. Only a human can climb the ladder of evolution and climb higher than gods or fall below animals. So we have to choose immunity for humanity. And those choices will eventually make us perpetuate to eternity.
So in this current timings, it's so interesting. I must say that you have brought the big picture so clear to the subject. This humanity needs immunity, and this humanity is far beyond the viruses of the day.
Absolutely.
In terms of capability, in terms of survival capacity, God has created it strong enough to withstand these. So still, the people have fear today. Now, what do you suggest to a common man who is all over the world today? It's spread in 200 countries.
Okay.
What should they do? What options they should exercise so that their immunities are taken care because this humanity is eventually supreme.
Understood.
Immunity, what should they be doing?
So, if you see the genesis of the virus, it is a toxic purge of a toxic cell. Now, where do the toxins come from? So humans don't catch virus, humans give birth to virus. So let's clean our terrain. So let's go back to what Louis Pasteur said, that I wasted my life running after the microbes, I should have looked into the human terrain. So let's look into the human terrain. So first is Shuddhikaran, cleansing, purifying. Second is regulating it, upregulating, upgrading. And third, after regulating, is fortifying it. Now in fortifying, so first is cleansing, Shuddhikaran mein, our breathing, pranayam, our yoga, taking sunshine, sweating it out, eating right, drinking right, and also sleeping well for Shuddhikaran. Now for regulating, once again for regulating, you need left, right nostril, balanced breathing, Nadi Shodhan, Anulom Vilom, Kapal Bhati, Bhastrika. Once again, you need all the yoga asanas like the Chakrasana, like a Dhanurasana, like the Sarvangasana. I mean, every asana is nothing but a seed of awareness in postures in poetry. When your postures move in poetry, asanas.
Very rhythmic way.
Yoga. Yoga means jodana. And A means asanas in awareness. So in awareness, you twist, turn, contract and stretch your body to ooze out the toxins and take in the fresh oxygen and fresh nutrients, strengthening the bones, ligaments, muscles, improvising the concentration faculty of the mind in here now, being 100% available in intelligence in here now, and bringing about that integrated integrity which a man needs for organic unity, which translates into immunity. Okay, so I'm telling in short. Then comes food clean food, Shuddha Shakahari food, clean, green, ethical, like Fast&Up Active Greens. So all the so clean, green, and I saw all the ingredients, the finest, and the way I've seen the processes. So the thermolabile substances are not killed because the process doesn't go up beyond the 40 degrees temperature.
Yeah.
So that's a very it's highly micronized. So that's the beauty. So absorption and assimilation is very, very good. And phytonutrients, so which we would probably not get out of 200, 300 grams of asparagus or broccoli put together. You would probably get it in this scoop. So these are the advantages of modern technology for supplementation, but it has to be sensible. Eat like a human, exercise like a human, don't eat like an animal, don't work out like an animal. So workouts ought to be a celebration and not a punishment. And when workouts become a celebration, then you can certainly have Fast&Up plant protein, which is brown rice.
Yeah, it's
and
a brown rice paste.
Brown rice and peas. I was never for protein shakes earlier. And I think now 20 days that I'm consuming this. So I was never for protein shakes earlier. So this Fast&Up with brown rice and peas, purest form of plant protein, micronized so well, absorption so well, gets digested very easily, doesn't give you acidity. And most importantly, it's very good on taste because you put the cocoa, the coconut inside. And the best thing about this protein is that go east or west, dal chawal is the best.
Yeah.
So a protein gets better digested in the presence of complex carbohydrates. So you put brown rice very smartly. Normally other protein shakes are pure protein, so gives you pure acidosis and the load on the kidney. So because this is so finely made and finely could be absorbed, it straight hits your muscle and it is very, very good. Thank you so much. And I rarely promote anything in the boxes. Rarely promote. Unless and until I'm completely convinced about right from the source to the process and to the intention of the promoter.
Yeah.
And everything is in place, so I'm here before you doing this.
Oh, thank you. You have put it so well that for getting the whole body of humanity to fight it out, the temporary phase, you said that the basics like sleeping right, like breathing right, like the air and the basics first, which makes the body, and then comes the food. Then comes the yoga, the kind of exercise to purge out the toxins.
Correct.
And the pranayam, the breathing exercises. And then comes the food, and the food has to be sattvic, has to be vegetarian, has to be natural, has to be good to the system. And as the plant protein is, there are in the market some whey proteins, and they are heavy on the kidney.
Very heavy, very heavy. I think that reminds me, brother. Yeah. I forgot your primary question. How do you deal with fear?
Yeah. It's a very prevailing issue. Not with any Fast&Up product. But
I understand.
Generally.
So, replace. All you need to do is replace. So when you have fear, bring in faith and blow out fear. So let go. Yoga is about breathing out. So breathe out fear and breathe in faith. Breathe out despair and breathe in hope.
Yeah.
Breathe out your exhaustion and fatigue and breathe in strength. Breathe out your weaknesses and breathe in courage. Breathe out hatred and breathe in love. Now, Bruce Lipton, the world's leading biologist scientist, has come up with a wonderful analysis and understanding of human psychology, and he's translated into a biological science, and he's validated this, that when a man is full of faith, his immunity is to the highest. His immunomodulators, immunoglobulins, and endocrine system is secreting to the highest point. But when he is gripped in fear, it is secreting to the lowest point. The whole viscera constricts. You are in the fight-flight mode. Cortisol is released. So, blood is pushed to the extremities. Your viscera is deprived of it. So, the growth stops, evolution stops, cellular regeneration stops. And only protection mode is there, which is a very dangerous mode if it remains forever. So, fear is out. So, he says that your belief can change your biology. So Bruce Lipton says your belief can change your biology. Mickey Mehta says your faith can change your physiology. Your breathing can change your hormonology. And prayer and meditation can change your psychology.
Excellent. So well put. It's something, the medicines are here. The medicines and breathe out the negatives and breathe in the positives.
Absolutely.
And the fear is out. And I think somebody who is amongst the audience watching from different parts of the world might be thinking you are a doctor by a medical profession.
No, I'm not a medical doctor. I use breath for medicine. So if somebody asks me what subah mein nashte mein kya khata hai? What do you eat for breakfast? I say I eat breath for breakfast. Yeah. I soak myself in the sun in the morning for breakfast. I consume that first. Then I consume every creative thought. So what is stress? Stress is nothing but a negative use of imagination, and creativity is nothing but a positive use of imagination.
God has given imagination to all. Yeah. How we use it,
absolutely,
it creates either stress or it creates the positivity, creativity. Excellent. I think the recipe to purge the fear out of the mind is very perfectly given by you.
Absolutely.
And also the way you have explained a combination of science and combination of philosophy and intermingling it with your own personal, you follow it yourself.
Experience,
yogic experience. The way I think it's very helpful. I have one question on the meditation. You do meditation.
Please, of course.
I have heard you saying sometimes that the difference, because meditation has different meaning for different people. Some people say samadhi lagao, meditation ho gaya. Some people say mandir ke aage baith jao, samadhi ho gaya, meditation ho gaya. But mind mein chal raha hai, picture kaun si dekhni hai iske baad, aur share market mein kya ho raha hai.
Yeah.
Now I want you to explain in your language what exactly is meditation.
Okay. So meditation is dhyan, which when Bodhidharma took it to China, dhyan became dhyan and dhyan became zen.
Okay, zen came from that. Okay.
Yes. Uh-huh. So dhyan became dhyan because they couldn't pronounce dhya. So the dhya came in. So dhyan became dhyan and dhyan became zen. So the meaning of dhyan is not to focus and concentrate. The meaning of dhyan is to dissolve. The meaning of dhyan is to completely surrender, be submissive 100%. तो संस्कृत में उसको बोलते हैं केवल्य की दशा. और जब आप केवल्य की दशा में आ जाते हो तो दृष्टा भाव हो जाते हो. आप देखते नहीं हो, देखना होता है. आप देखते नहीं हो, देखना होता है. उसमें दृश्यम नहीं होती है, दृष्टि होती है. सीन नहीं होता है, एक सिर्फ विजन होता है. एवरीथिंग सब साफ सुथरा होता है. और जब आप दृष्टा भाव में होते हो कंप्लीटली, तब आप जागरूक होते हो. और जागरूक होते हो तो सचेतन होते हो, चैतन्य होते हो. और जब आप चैतन्य होते हो, जागरूक होते हो, तब फिर से दृष्टा भाव में होते हो. सो इट कोरिस्पॉन्ड्स एंड कॉम्प्लीमेंट्स. सो दृष्टा भाव में चैतन्य होते हो और चैतन्य भाव में दृष्टा होते हो. एंड तब जाके तीनों लोक, पांचों लोक, every dimension becomes very clear. the immeasurable potential of all that was, is, and will be becomes very clear. And you are in the Shoonyam Quotient.
Oh, that's the title of your book.
So what happens typically, what is the Shoonyam Quotient? That जब पदार्थ का जन्म हुआ, तो शिव शक्ति का जन्म हुआ. Matter is of polarities. Without polarities, matter doesn't exist. Now, when a matter was born, there was distance between matters. So distance was born. And time taken to travel the distance, so time was born.
Okay, that's how the time dimension came in.
Correct. Now, so पदार्थ का जन्म हुआ विरोधाभास से, polarities से. Correct? So, प्रकृति और पुरुष. I'm not saying मनुष्य. मनुष्य वो जो मन का ये है, टारगेट है या मन का शिकार है, वो मन
करता है
जो मन का शिकार है, वो मनुष्य. पुरुष वो जो पूरा है, पूरा है. और प्रकृति हो जिसमें से पुरुष जन्म लेता है और वो पूरा होता है. So, yoga is the confluence of polarities and they meet at the point which is congruent and which is called Shoonyam Quotient. So Ganga and Jamuna, when they flow and the point of confluence is where the Saraswati is born. So the new reality is born out of yoga always. So yoga is about giving creation, producing new realities always. Okay. So ध्यान में योग होता है और योग में ध्यान होता है. So it can be active, it can be passive. तो एक तो कि आप इसमें बैठ गए, आप इसमें ध्यान में बैठ गए, तो आप या तो इसमें हो, अपने लोटस पोजीशन में हो, पद्मासन में, या सुखासन सिद्धासन में हो. So when you are in Sukhasan, Siddhasan, you are a sacred geometry. So yoga is about your sacred geometry merging with the sacred geometry of the universe. And while you merge, the lines get obliterated when you flow in the poetry of postures. So when the awareness doesn't cut you as a body, it makes you, and doesn't even cut you as a soul, it makes you dissolve in the moment as a state of being and nothing else. So you become equivalent to a tree, equivalent to a mountain, a star, a sun, because we are all the five elements. So Dhyan mein everything dissolves and becomes one. Your five senses, your five horse chariots which take you in various directions, which breaks up your mind into pieces, and it gives you pieces of bits and information and makes you fragmented. In Dhyan, those fragments become one piece, P-I-E-C-E, and that brings P-E-A-C-E.
The other piece.
Correct. Now, when five senses become wholesome, they become one, guess what is born? Common sense.
Common sense, okay.
So, in Dhyan, there is common sense, birth of common sense. So, ध्यान में क्या होता है? Extra sensory perceptions. ध्यान में क्या होता है? सिद्धियां होती है. ध्यान में क्या होता है? Foresight, insight, multi-sensory perceptions in Dhyan.
Yeah, you get to see, this is called Divya Drishti, that you get to see something which is not in front of you.
Divya Drishti.
Divya Drishti.
और पूरे माया का भ्रम टूट जाता है उसमें. जो माया का भ्रम है, illusion.
वो टूट जाता है.
Maya, matter, measure, they all come from the same root. Matre, matru, mother.
And this is
and also matrix.
And matrix. And this is the state you are defining is when you come to the state of being.
Only being.
Not doing.
And
meditation.
Only being, doing nothing.
Doing nothing.
So when people constantly ask how to do meditation is very much against meditation.
Against meditation. Yes, you are not to do it. You are to be in a state where you are being but you are not doing anything. So
let me give you a classical example that when a Meera is in a prayer, she forgets who she is. Neither she exists nor whom she is praying for exists. they all become one in Kevalya. Till the time the other exists, your prayer is not complete. Meditation takes you to that point of bridging the gap. Perhaps that is the reason there is chakrasan in yoga. That chakrasan makes you bridge the gap between you and the creator, and the lines of sacred geometry get obliterated, and you become only awareness. It's the state of awareness.
So when Meera is singing for Krishna,
Correct.
she loses where she is and she gets into that.
Yeah.
Or if a painter is doing painting and so much engrossed into the painting he's doing, that also is a kind of meditation. They get into that field.
Very much.
The whole world is not there for them. They are
So,
engrossed.
yeah, so that is a process of creative meditation.
They are creating something while meditating.
So meditative state of being. So what happens? The Radha. Now see the word play. It's a beautiful. Sanskrit is not a language, it's a science. So Radha, which goes out from you in devotion, becomes Dhara and comes back to you and connects you with the oneness and merges you.
Okay, I never thought that way.
So Radha and Dhara, then just opposite word play.
It's something.
So dhyan mein, you are not a linga, you are not a purusha, you are not a nari, you are not even an atma.
Yeah.
You are sirf kevalya. जब कुछ नहीं बचता है, जब तुम भी नहीं बचते हो, जब वो भी नहीं बचता है, जब कुछ नहीं बचता है, which is why it is quotient when nothing remains. Product, see, multiplication gives you product. Quotient is when nothing remains.
Nothing remains. Absolutely.
Shunyam means nothing remains.
And the book Shoonyam Quotient is on
Shoonyam.
that.
Yeah. So everything comes out of the Shoonyam quotient, everything returns to the Shoonyam quotient. The polarities which otherwise constantly conflict and contradict get harmonized in the Shoonyam quotient. So actually in the Shoonyam quotient, the polarities begin to complement each other and not conflict with each other. The conflict is the tanav. Tanav of the manushya. And the harmonizing is the purnata of the purusha.
So it's a very deep, your whole talk is, the recorded version will be shared with all the people who are online. And I'm 100% sure they would they will rewind it and replay it, and rewind it and replay it, because there's so much information, knowledge and experience of yours in this field, which they would get chance not to read in a book, but they will get chance to hear it out from you, as well as they would be able to see the passion with which you are explaining. And I tell you, this is far better than I write books, I read books. But talking to a person like you is far more than reading multiple books on the same subject. It's a very good to have interaction with you.
So let me just interject.
Please.
While the appreciation and glory is coming to me, let me bow before all the gurus of the world, especially the ones who have influenced me the most. So Maharishi Mahesh Yogi ji, Deepak Chopra, Osho, Baba Ramdev, Sadhguru ji, Sri Sri Ravi Shankar, Ma Hansa ji, B.K.S. Iyengar ji, and the gurus of the world. So let me bow before them and thank them and speak a small mantra in their glory. Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Par Brahma, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah. Thank you.
And I must thank, I'm sure people who are logged in, instead of asking questions, they must be digesting whatever they have taken during the last 45-50 minutes, and it's a heavy dose for them, and very right those. It's a very important. It's important for any person at any age, whatever level in hierarchy they are in the organizations they work, or the businesses they are, or the family hierarchy, or wherever in the economic sense they are. I think the subject we got opportunity to talk to you is so relevant to everybody, and it would help them to think how the lives can be reformed, to see that the fear is out, the immunity is in, the creativity is in,
Absolutely.
the lifestyle gets reformed, the yoga comes in, the meditation comes in, and their mind is purer, and they are able to create something, do something which is more meaningful for not just themselves, for everybody else.
And this all translates into immunity. While I want to say that Fast&Up Active Greens and Fast&Up, plant-based proteins, they are exceptionally good for immunity, but primary to immunity is breath, yoga, shakahari bhojan,
sleep,
attitude, optimism in life,
Right, yes.
Yeah.
And I must thank you, Dr. Mehta, for this time and interaction. And I must thank all the viewers wherever they are in the world. And I'll share with you a list of all the people, and there are so many. I know people right now are logged in from New Zealand, Australia, are logged in from Canada, America, UK, and all over India. And they are not just the Fast&Up customers or Fast&Up employees or Fast&Up well-wishers. They are the people who understand one thing, that the company Fast&Up team, they don't just bring the right kind of products which are meant for their health, but also they are there to contribute to the society beyond business. Because business to hota rahega.
Absolutely.
But doing it with the right intentions, with the right approach, with the right spirit is a contribution to humanity, and indirectly that also will add to the immunity of humanity. To the subject we are talking.
Absolutely. And इंसान का परम धर्म क्या है? इंसान का परम धर्म है अच्छाई. सिर्फ one word.
Yeah.
So उसमें स्क्रिप्ट लिखने की जरूरत नहीं है, शास्त्रों में जाने की भी जरूरत नहीं है. इंसान का परम धर्म है अच्छाई. इंसान का परम आत्मा है अच्छाई.
And the way we all many people have in their mind definition of achai. Today they got the real the whole holistic way how achai can be done to the self, to the body, to the mind, to the society, to the humanity. And it was a lot for me also to learn today again. I mean, I always learn from you, Dr. Mehta.
Thank you.
It was one more opportunity, and I wish there are such opportunities often in future as well. And thank you once again.
Yeah, but I hope, aren't there any questions? Any more questions?
So I don't. I have to see that.
If there are, otherwise we can just let me tell you कि स्वास्थ्य की परिभाषा.
Please.
स्वास्थ्य की परिभाषा है स्वयं में स्थित, स्वयं में उपस्थित एंड स्वयं की उपस्थिति की जागृति होना. स्वयं में स्थित, स्वयं में उपस्थित और स्वयं में उपस्थिति की जागृति होना, उसका चैतन्य भाव होना. एंड वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, स्वर, सांस, अपनी जो सांस चलती है ना, स्वर. सो स्वर से बने स्वर्ग और स्वर से बने स्वर्ग. एंड वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, when we come together, जब हम योग करते हैं, ध्यान करते हैं, सत्संग करते हैं, तो सत्संग से बनती है संगत, संगत से उठता है गीत, जो बन जाता है स्वास्थ्य का मधुर संगीत.
Oh, yeah, this is a real good definition of health.
Absolutely.
How to get it?
Absolutely. So, ladies and gentlemen, you are human beings of absolute super consciousness. You can remain disease free all your life. Immunity should be your birthright. And I would say that the definition of health is heal thy, heal them, heal thou. The etymology comes from Latin. And the healing comes with couple of philosophies. One philosophy is pantheism. Pantheism is a philosophy being in absolutely wonderment of nature and creativity. Sufism. Pantheism is being pantheistically inclined, completely drowned in the, intoxicated in the wonderment of the universe, of the creative force. And once you're pantheistically inclined, then there is epistemological humility, which means you bow before the mighty power of the creative forces. And when you bow, you have questions like the questions of innocence, that how are fruits, how do birds tweet? How are flowers so colorful and fragrant? How does water climb up in the coconut 200 feet?
Yeah. And so sweet.
And so sweet. And so enchanting. And how gardens are so fragrant and beautiful. How forests are so enchanting. And once we become one with nature, we experience God. And that is the time we know about God. One can never read about God in scriptures. You can only उसका अनुभव कर सकते हैं और उसकी अनुभूति ले सकते हैं. English language doesn't have a word for अनुभूति. It has a word for अनुभव, but not for अनुभूति. Where the dance, the dancer and the process of dancing become one अनुभूति.
For you, one of my friend has asked a question. So I'll ask you, and I know your answer will be very helpful to me.
Please tell me.
He's Dev Banerjee, my friend. He's a cancer survivor.
Achha.
And what words you would give to him on the state of mind that the kind of trust he should have? No, I would not. He has sent a question. I would not tell you the question. I will ask you to tell him in your way what is important for a cancer survivor to continue journey of life in a health and happiness.
So, diseases are born out of our choices, okay? And sometimes we allow our choices to culminate into diseases. And sometimes, the genes we are born with. So the science of genetics says that only 5% of your genes are deterministic. 95% are indeterministic. So he has the opportunity to play with the 95% genes to make them express again health and healing. Have faith in the system. And one of the new books that I'm writing is the theory of karma. It is called yogurt karma. तो योगर्ट कर्मा में क्या है कि दही जमाने के लिए कुछ नहीं करना पड़ता है, उसको छोड़ देना पड़ता है. दही जमने के लिए और जमाने के लिए उसको कुछ नहीं करना पड़ता है, उसको छोड़ देना पड़ता है. Allow your body in the natural processes of your circadian rhythm, unit rhythm, to synchronize with the unity, universal rhythm. So rise with the sun, sleep after the sunset, be a Shakahari, Sattvic, be optimistic, live in faith, believe in yourself, believe in the higher self. Yourself and the higher self should become one. Then healing will become a child's play. Cancer will dissolve, degenerate, disintegrate very naturally, very automatically. Eat very natural, very wholesome. Do yoga, do pranayama, everything आनंद पूर्वक, शांति पूर्वक और ध्यान में लीन होके, and in full faith, and you will see magic happening before you, before your own eyes. And cancer is not your enemy, it is a part of you. So there's nothing to fight. You are not a survivor. Simply become a victor. And victor without killing cancer. You don't have to conquer cancer. You simply have to allow it to leave and let go of you. And you let go of it. So cleanse, regulate and fortify. And I am always there to help you. Just call me.
So nice of you, Dr. Mehta. I know I did the right thing that I did not read his question. And I let it come from you naturally. And I think what you answered him is more than what he had asked in the question, and it will be very helpful for him. And he has just said that I am so delighted. I can read his response quickly.
Please.
I'm so delighted hearing Dr. Mehta. It's an experience. That's what he has written.
So just let me share with you that in this last 4 months,
Yeah.
with one particular stage 4 cancer patient, I went to Tata Memorial Hospital every day for her radiation. Okay?
Uh-huh.
And I'm here in full flesh and blood and immunity. Number 2, for my second cancer patient, I visited him in Breach Candy Hospital in COVID ward, 6th floor, for 6 days, and made him do breathing so that he doesn't catch COVID. So he is COVID free.
Excellent. I mean, that's something unique.
And so it is all about all natural processes. Our body is not a stagnated piece of flesh. It is a bundle of conscious processes which we add value to. The processes will change in the direction of health and healing, cleansing, regulating and fortifying. And we must know that scientific understanding that our neural firing increases with every breath that we take consciously. Neuroplasticity is a new science where we can learn new things and make our genes express in a whole new way. So the ungoverned appetite of the cells to crowd and kill the organ will get regulated and disconnected from the old memory, and you will begin to build new memory of regulated behavior of your cells. So your stomach lining changes for new every 7 days. Your skin changes for new every 30 days. Every 90 days your musculoskeletal structure changes for new. Every year your whole being changes for new, except for collagen and cartilage, which takes sometimes 18 months. So scientifically you are a new person every year. So there are 70 to 80 trillion cells and microbiomes which will respond to every conscious breath, every conscious morsel of food, every conscious posture of yoga, every conscious rest, every conscious prayer, meditation, optimism, sleep, faith, and your body will transform and magic will happen.
Excellent. After listening to you, it reinforces our conviction that how blessed we are. God has given us such a wonderful body which repairs itself, and every year we are a new us.
Yeah.
And we have to respect that God's gift to us in the form of body, which is so wonderful creation by God. And we are to take care by proper state of mind, exercise, sleep, water, breathing, and whatever. Fast&Up will continue supporting people who take care of their bodies with our strengthening. You use the word fortifying.
So yes, of course, this Fast&Up Active Greens truly are great cleansers and great antioxidants, and of course it will help you regulate, and this will help you fortify the protein. And we should take advantage of the modern sciences like epigenetics, transgenerational epigenetic reset, neuroplasticity. Dr. Elizabeth Blackburn, Nobel laureate winner, she came up with telomeres and telomerase. She said that you can keep increasing your aging chromosomes and keep adding to life and keep increasing them in your brain with your conscious exercise, breath, food, attitude, everything. And it is so good. And Dr. Dean Ornish and Dr. Roger Penrose are working on consciousness. So they did a lot of research on on Maharishi Mahesh Yogi ji, and they have come to a conclusion and validated with there was near death experiences, NDE. So BBC had conducted experiments where they had proven a fact that consciousness is beyond the brain. There is something between the two brains called microtubules, and microtubular expression is nothing but a quantum fluctuation which continues for 4 days even after you are clinically dead. Which is why Hindus have the right still for the 4th day to sever the memory from the microtubules.
Oh, okay.
Because the microtubules can hold the consciousness. So very many people who've come out of death after surgeries and they were declared death and they've come back after 3 hours, 4 hours. They have repeated everything the surgeon ever said in the room, and they've expressed, and the whole scenario has been reproduced by them because the microtubules are working. So those were the experiments conducted on consciousness. So brain is not what your mind is. Brain is the actualizer of your spirit. It's like a TV set. You switch on the TV set and it will pull in information from everywhere.
Yeah. Well, Dr. Mehta, like you did remember all your gurus, the Mahesh Yogi, Osho, Baba Ramdev, Sadhguru, Shri Shri. When I will remember all the gurus, and I'll remember in that Dr. Mickey Mehta also. So much to learn, so much to understand, and thank you very much once again.
So before I part, let me a small prayer to you all, that a true guru is one who allows his pupils to stand on his shoulders and look beyond. So let us all never keep anything up our sleeve. Knowledge, information and wisdom is here to be shared always. So we will do a very small mantra which is Sanskrit. It is not Hindu, it is universal. So let us all join hands. Take a deep breath. Om Kal Shanti. Take a deep breath. Om Vastu Disha Shanti. Om Vayu Shanti. Om Agni Shanti. Om Prithvi Shanti. Om Jal Shanti. Om Akasha Shanti. Om Sarvagraha Nakshatra Rashi Shanti. Om Vishwa Brahman Shanti. Om Sarvagraha Nakshatra Rashi Vishwa Brahman Shanti. Om Shanti, 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 Shanti. May never any child be deprived of food and die of hunger. May never any senior citizen be denied medical treatment and die of disease. May never any lady be ever unclad and die of disgrace and disrespect. May all human beings have enough food, shelter, food. Let's all work towards peace, plenty, prosperity, to get energized, maximized, optimized, naturalized, internalized, eternalized, evolutionized, revolutionized, mesmerized, hypnotized, regularized, revitalized, initialized, get revitalized to get Mickey-mized.
Nice. Thank you. Thank you once
Thank you,
again.
thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Satish. Thank you so much.